Hello ladies and gentlemen, Xintor here and welcome back to another YouTube video. Now today we're going to do some E175 update news. So this is a confirmed rework. This will be in the next in-flight flight update, I believe. So it's a full rework with the Embraer E175 aircraft in infinite flight. I'm going to give you guys an idea of what we're going to expect, what's going to come, and just a bit of comparison of what we currently have in your mobile flight simulator, of course. Also being some more later news released by Infinite Flight. I feel like the news at the moment is a bit slow coming out compared to a few years ago when I used to do it on a regular basis. So of course we'll just get straight into it right now. So we can see just the aircraft in general. It looks a bit old, a little bit patchy, and I'll show you all that in a little bit more detail, of course, once it takes off later. And of course, at the moment, there is no interior, so hopefully we get a full interior in this E175 aircraft, and I think it's something we can definitely have very, very soon, and it's something I'm quite excited for. So of course, I'll show you guys the cockpit again in just a second. So here we go, we are just going into the cockpit. Now the cockpit, again, something I say in most videos, it's what makes the aircraft complete. It's definitely the most important feature of any aircraft in infinite flight. I would pretty much fly any aircraft in infinite flight, bar maybe like the general aviation aircraft, because I don't like them that much, as long as it has a live cockpit. And you can see this cockpit is old. It is like an original infinite flight cockpit, and you can even see the instruments that are in the cockpit behind the cockpit, which is something that I found a little bit amusing. So hopefully within this cockpit, again, you can see really plain on the outside of the paint job, but even the overhead panel, it's just like something in 3D where they've just slapped a load of stickers on it. Now you need to remember this is from infinite flight starting stage, so for a first aircraft or whatsoever, it's pretty good. But for the current standard, it is way below par, of course. So now we're going to move around to the engine of this aircraft. Now I think the engine, again, is something I'm very fond of, and it's just a black hole. Like I said later, it's literally just a black hole of the aircraft. Now you could see the spiral just a second ago, and even the interior of the aircraft. So I think, yeah, you can see the spiral now. It's very faint, and it's just hard to see, and you can hardly see it when the aircraft itself is actually running. You can see here that the nose gear, not that much detail really. It's got a little bit of detail, but again, as we've been able to see in videos and photos of the upcoming update, you've been able to see there's a lot more attention has been paid to the nose gear and the rear gear, which is something very important. So we're just going to move on now to when the aircraft is in flight. Okay, so I've now skipped to the part where the aircraft is on the runway, and it's just time to see how this thing handles in flight. So of course the E175 in this upcoming update, we're just going to have a look at how the old version of it, or the current version which we have prior to the update, to see how it works. So as always, the landing light's the same in infinite flight. You sort of just get that little white blob there, and the engine's running, which is something I did want to pay a bit of focus to, because you could see the little spiral thing very slightly beforehand, and now you don't see anything, but you can, if I go close enough, yeah, so you can sort of see the engine spinning there, of course. So I am going very slow on this takeoff here. I was at about like 40% for a little while, because I wanted to use a bit more runway so I could show you guys these extra features. I think the winglet lights, so the strobes and the beak, and the green and red lights look quite good on this aircraft, I believe, and I think the flaps as well on this aircraft, all in all, are very good. Now, if you just pay a bit more attention again to the paint job on this aircraft, it doesn't look very good close up. And now there was a bit of writing on, not that, over here, which I want to show you. So here, so you got the Star Alliance thing up there, and of course I suppose that's meant to say Embraer 175, but it's literally just a blob, which you can't see unfortunately. And here we go, we are actually now taking off. Here we go, we are now airborne. We've got this beauty in the air. And the way the gear come up as well, I think it's quite nice, quite a good feature as well of the aircraft, the way the gear come up. Again, you've got the little hole in the bottom, and the gear still spin after takeoff, which again I think is an important feature, because of course they're not going to instantly stop spinning, but we'll see if they stop spinning a bit later on. Alright, so and then over here we've got the cargo door, which will of course come undone. So we'll have a live working cargo door, hopefully. The engines will be much more like, I'd imagine, A little bit like the A220, similar size aircraft. I think the A220 is a little bit bigger than this one, but we get a similar size idea for you. And of course the detail here, it just looks really old and dated, so the aircraft will be in much more detail, hopefully. Has the gear stopped spinning? Let's just see. Yeah, so the gear now stops spinning, so hopefully that's a feature which doesn't disappear in the upcoming update, unless that actually is what happens, but it seems logical that it doesn't. And then again, when you go a little bit further away from the aircraft, the livery looks fine. You don't really see the issues, because with the text over there that you can see, you don't really, you're not going to see it from a long way away. I need to zoom back out. So we're not really going to have that issue here. Now, another important feature, so from the outside, I think the windows, again, they're just little black blobs or grey blobs at the moment. So we'll actually have proper indented windows, and then in here I'm expecting a full interior cabin. And that's a feature which I'm really hoping can come along very soon in the upcoming update. So I'm expecting a full cabin, hopefully some toilets and trays and trolleys and those stuff, of course. Right, so of course I took off from New York City Airport, JFK, if any of those of you managed to guess it, which is over there. And what I do is I come around for a landing, and I do a very nice smooth landing, which you guys will all be able to see at the end of the video. Okay, I'd just like to take a moment now again to just focus on those engines again. So a bit of news of fuel here. Infant Flight did release the other day, July the 4th, so they showed you the fan blades on the engine of this aircraft, so I can try and show you the exact same engine that they showed you, and I think that's near enough the same view they gave you. It was a bit closer actually, and you can actually see the fan blades moving within the engine. Of course you can't now, at the moment it's like a little black hole there, kind of cute, and you can also see in the gear there's a little bit more detail on the gear. So on the actual gear itself, not sure if we can see right now. Oh actually maybe we can see the gear, can we? Oh, perfect, so we can see the gear in here where the blades are just a bit blobby in that, and you can see the little bits of wires in the photo provided by Infinite Flight as well, which make it just look a little bit more realistic. So the gear will come down shortly for our landing. So that is what Infinite Flight did release quite recently, and the aircraft does it like it's coming along quite well. Doesn't look like there's that many liveries on it yet, so I think we're still a good maybe few weeks at least away from this E175 rework update, which so many of you are waiting for, including myself, of course. So hopefully on the other side of the engine, yeah, so you still got the little, I don't even know what that is. Anyway, if anyone knows what this thing is here, let me know, but it's also in the photo showed by the Infinite Flight development team on Twitter is where I found this. I think it was on Instagram as well, and probably the Infinite Flight Discord server, if you're interested in that as well. Okay, so here we are. I've just waited for the gear to come down, so the gear are now coming down on this aircraft. I do think that it's quite a smooth transition here with the gear coming down on the E175, I think, into its landing here. So here we are at New York Airport, JFK, sorry, to be more precise. And again, the aircraft, it handles quite well, so I've got it very, very heavy, this aircraft at the moment. I think it's maximum passenger load, because I was messing about at London City the other week, which was quite fun. So we can just see the aircraft coming for land, and it's not an awful plane to land, but at the moment, remember, I had to be using HUD because we don't have that live cockpit, which I'm fully anticipating in the new rework. So if it isn't in the rework, I will be quite disappointed, to say the least. So that's something else. So here we go. Are we gonna make it? Well, I know we make it because I'm recording this video. But again, it's quite nice. I found the aircraft's really easy to descend at the moment, so I think handling wise it's really quite a nice thing to handle. Oh, we got a really good point of view here, and there you go. So again, those spoilers come straight up here as well, as always. I think they come up quite fast as well, and the nose, again, I feel like it just stayed up for way too long than it had to, but again, I could have brought it down much sooner, but because I could keep it up, I decided to, because why not be fancy and fun. So here you go, with the spoilers we can see that they did come up quite well, and it's a bit laggy, some of them, they're a bit weird, and the flaps, again, I think, all in all, I don't think the flaps on this aircraft are quite that bad, but again, they come up and down bit faster than you'd expect. Look, the spoilers went down instantly pretty much as well. We've just gone through the aircraft there. But yeah, so that is the E175 update, which again is coming in the next in-flight update. Please do remember that this is a confirmed update, and I've given you a bit of news in this video as well. So if you did like the video, please make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you again in my next video. Good night.
Find your way into this wonderland, cross the